Have you heard the sounds of the wind?
Yeah.
The pearl of the Orient has fallen. The winds of death had struck with so much might that it flattened the very city, loved by our famous former First Lady, Imelda Marcos. Tacloban City, as they call it, is now a city full of dead people and a quaint populace fighting to survive. The mighty Typhoon Haiyan swept the Philippines down to its very core, making it a country blown to a permanent destruction. I am at a loss for words. Congress Chief, respected fellow Toastmasters, and all good subjects of the realm, good evening.
Good evening.
Long has it been since the Philippines suffered a mayhem that shook the world. A destruction so great that I received the ill-fated news. I wept and fell down on my knees. The winds havoc the central Philippines like raging swords, is calling with rage of 1,000 deaths. The aftermath of which was a death toll beyond compare. A destruction so unbelievable that it can even be seen from the outer space. Far enough, it left the Philippine nation crippled, shocked by the horrible death and utter destruction of its properties. Is this the genesis of the fall of my country? My answer is firmly on the negative. The Philippines, a body of water, is scattered with thousands of islands, is a birth child of both East and West. Hurled from the colonial historical records are scenes of better struggles between the natives and the conquistadores. But in the end, Reno de España prevailed. Much had changed then. Changes, though had been forceful from the start, merged the natives to the mainstream thought of an enlightened youth. Bending like a strong bamboo grass, the Filipino people remained hopeful that someday the yoke of Spain will cease to exist. Although all had been at stake, the spirit of the early Filipinos remained high, until at last the island stood strong and finally plucked itself out from the most august crowd of Spain. But wait, a new master is in the horizon. Its Uncle Sam. The hope of self-governance again was deferred. For almost half a century, the Philippines remained under the wing of its new master, the United States of America. Similar to a mythical, legendary bird known as the phoenix, the Filipino holds to a psyche that enables the nation to just dust it off and hold ground whenever the arrows of defeat and suffering impaled almost instantaneously. Ashes bred greatness, and like the phoenix, our nation will rise from the very ground where it blundered. As strong as the pillars of Hercules, we affirm, as our ancestors did centuries back, that ours is not a world full of roses and jewels, but ours is a world full of challenges, challenges which are back-breaking, yet eventful, for out of such comes a much better and much united Philippines. The tickling of the clock can never be reverted. So as the lives lost to Typhoon Haiyan. But as sons and daughters of the East, we look at the sun. We breathe in life from the sun. As we Filipinos breathe from the fresh air, we saw, not far from beyond, the assistance from both our friends and in disputes, formed a cradle of life. A cradle of life that makes it once and for all true. The notion that in times of disasters, such as Typhoon Haiyan, the world is just so left, as nations give no room for selfishness and hatred, despite utter differences. And as for the question, if Typhoon Haiyan is the genesis of the fall of the Philippines, it is a resounding no, for we Filipinos will stand in our faith, and with the help of our friends and the Almighty, the Philippines will rise again. I am at a loss for words. Actions abound, and actions speak louder and more profound